guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now today we are talking TikTok food trends. I'm all for a good trend and I'm a massive foodie at heart. So I want to show you one of my favorite trends on TikTok at the moment. Apparently this is trending so hard that some parts of Europe actually sold out of feta cheese. So I'm all for it. Let's give it a go. I'm going to show you guys A, how to make this as per the TikTok trend, and B, how to put my own healthy little spin on it as a dietitian. So let's first start with the recipe. Here we go. So guys, let's make this delicious feta tomato pasta recipe. It's so easy. I'm so excited to make this. Let's go. So first off, we're going to want to grab a ceramic oven-proof dish. We're going to want to preheat our oven to about 180 to 190 degrees Celsius. Throw in our cherry tomatoes and some cloves of garlic. Next, we're going to give it a good drizzle with olive oil. Be generous here with the extra virgin olive oil, guys, and season it nicely with some salt and some cracked pepper. Nextly, we're going to add our block of feta into the middle of our ceramic oven-proof dish. We're going to add some Italian herbs on top and we're going to bake it in the oven for about 35 minutes. Next, we're going to cook some pasta, remove our dish out of the oven. Take the garlic cloves out, we're going to crush them, remove the skin, and then add them back into our dish. Now we're going to start to break up our feta. I left mine cooking a little bit too long, so it was a bit tough to pull apart, but use a knife and a fork, pull it apart and start stirring the dish, and it's going to make a beautiful, creamy, nice sauce. We can add a little bit of extra olive oil or a little bit of pasta water to it if we want, and break it all up so the tomatoes are nice and saucy. Add our hot pasta on top, some fresh herbs, I've used basil, and give it a really good stir through. And guys, it is as easy as that. Look how delicious it is. I promise you, it is simple, but it is so tasty. Oh my goodness, are you guys drooling? A, it is absolutely amazing, like it tastes delicious, and B, it's so easy, like so easy, right? And so what I really want to do is say that yes, this is perfectly fine. This is a perfectly healthy recipe. But when I worked out really the nutrition analysis, and I've talked in a previous video about my easy fat loss tips, if you haven't gone and seen that video, please go back and watch that, because it really explains the ins and outs of fat loss. And in there I talk about how healthy can be different for fat loss. So although this might be a healthy or a somewhat healthy recipe, you know, it's not too bad, I wouldn't say that it is ideal for fat loss. So let me break down the nutrition components for you guys. Okay, so when I made this pasta recipe with the feta and the tomatoes, exactly how it was on the TikTok trend, I got about 3 serves out of it. I tried to push it to 4, but I just didn't feel like it was filling enough. So let's go with 3 serves. So if you were to eat this recipe, as per the trend, using normal pasta and normal feta, you would get about 3 serves out of it. And each serve would be about 765 calories, give or take based on the ingredients and the brands that you're using. And in those 3 serves, each serve contains about 95 grams of carbohydrates, which is it's quite a lot of carbohydrates, about 19 grams of fat, 28 grams of protein, and about 2 grams of fiber. Now for fat loss, what we know is important is protein and fiber. Now the protein is actually not too bad in this recipe. The fiber is far too low, and I personally, for the majority of people, would think that the carbohydrates are far too high. If I was to sit down and eat a meal with close to 100 grams of carbohydrates in the one meal, I would just feel bloated and sluggish afterwards. Like I don't do well with too many carbohydrates, and I know a lot of my clients feel exactly the same. Carbs are great. I love carbohydrates, but I think that there sort of needs to be a bit of a limit based on the amount of activity and how big or small we are. So I think that the average person, close to 100 grams of carbs in a meal is a bit too much. So let me put my healthy dietitian spin on this meal for you guys today. All we're gonna do is take the exact same meal. Now, instead of normal feta, I used low-fat feta. Saved a little bit of the calories because I didn't need the additional fat in the recipe. There was plenty of olive oil in that recipe. And what I also used, instead of just normal, white penne pasta, was my favorite brand of high fiber, high protein pasta. Basically penne pasta. So the brand is the Feta Smart Protein Pasta. Now, this is not sponsored by Feta. I kind of wish that it was. But this is my favorite brand of pasta to use. Another great brand of pasta, or another type of pasta that I would also recommend, is any sort of lentil or legume-based pasta. So like chickpea pasta or like a red lentil penne pasta is a great option as well. Now, compared to normal pasta, these pastas are slightly lower carbohydrate, more protein, and more fiber. The 2 things we know are incredibly important for fat loss is protein and fiber. They keep us feeling full and satiated long term. So with these 2 additions to the actual TikTok recipe, using the low-fat feta and just a slightly different type of pasta, it still tastes basically the same. And instead of 3 serves, we're gonna get 6 serves out of this meal now. Now I know you think, hold on, she said 4 serves wasn't filling enough. How is 6 serves gonna be filling? Let me show you. So we talked about in my first video on my easy fat loss tips, how having half a plate of salad and veggies is incredibly important. A, they provide heaps of vitamins and minerals. B, they're full of fiber. And we have to chew them a little bit more than we do like carbohydrates or other types of foods. So we eat our meal slower and we feel satisfied and fuller for longer afterwards as well. So in this meal, and I'll show you guys a photo above, I've made 6 serves out of it. With each serve, I've put half a plate of veggies and I've also added a bit of lean protein to the side just to boost the overall protein content of the meal. I'm gonna bring down the carb content and bring up the protein content, which for fat loss is ideal because it helps to support us metabolically, particularly if your goals are to get stronger or gain some lean muscle mass. We wanna pretty good amount of protein at each meal. So if we were to do it with these additions and swaps that I've listed, and what that would give us in terms of a rough nutritional analysis. So the 6 serves, half a plate of vegetables. I used cauliflower, broccoli, and green beans, and I used about, as a rough guide, 80 grams of raw chicken per serving with the pasta. So that basically gave me about 565 calories per meal. It's 200 calories less than if I was to eat the entire bowl of pasta as per the TikTok trend. So 200 calories is really important when it comes to actually keeping to a calorie deficit for fat loss. It can make a big deal because I'm someone who loves my snacks. And although, you know, the original bowl of pasta, the whole bowl was about 765 calories, it's not too bad. I like snacking, and that is probably going to easily throw me out of a calorie deficit and just make me feel more bloated and sluggish overall. So bringing down the calorie content of the meal by about 200 calories. The meal also had, we took the carbs from nearly 90 grams of carbs down to about 35 grams of carbohydrates. We boosted the protein up to 46 grams of protein. The fat halved at only 10 grams, and the fiber astronomical. It went from 2 grams to 13 grams of fiber. A, for gut health, this is incredibly important, and B, to feel full and satisfied after your meals without that feeling of like bloated and just overfull. And you know, when you eat too many carbohydrates, you just feel like you need to take a nap afterwards and your energy levels dip. That's not ideal. It's not exactly what we want for true health or gut health either. So this is my version of the meal as per a sports dietitian or as per a foodie who also likes to feel good and comfortable after their meals as well, thinking about their gut health as well. So what I recommend is a lean source of protein. If you're vegetarian or vegan, you can add a bit of tofu. If you're someone who's pescatarian, you can add some white fish to this meal as well to boost the protein content. Swapping out our pasta easily can lower slightly the carbohydrate content and increase the fiber content of that meal. And overall, just adding in a ton more vegetables is an easy way to bring down the calories, but drive up the volume of the meal. So we actually feel just as full from the whole plate of pasta versus the way that I made it in the second photo that you guys saw there. So this is my easy addition and swaps to this TikTok trend. I hope you guys give it a go and let me know what you think. And be sure to comment below if you have any questions about this video. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you guys later.